Welcome back to the Football Terrace. Please hit like buttons. Please make sure you're subscribing and turning on bell notifications. And check out our TikTok right now. Scan the QR code on the screen to go take a look at exclusive content that comes out daily over there. Sacking the manager at Man United help? My first question to you. I'm still not seeing any definitive opinions from people of exactly how it and why it would help us and why it would be the wrong thing to do. There's still, it's all very wishy-washy. That's a question. But I've been called out in the last few days. I don't really understand why. I've been called out because I have said that I don't think sacking the manager fixes us. That's seen as sacrilegious to some people. Equally, for suggesting that the manager is starting to stare down the barrel and that he is on his way to being sacked, to another group of people is also triggering them. But he is. Whether it's the right or wrong thing is irrelevant to the point that he's on the road to being sacked. And there's some articles that have come out today that we need to delve into. Man United fans and rivals alike, the Football Terrace community, I need your help with this because I'm so confused. I'm confused. I'm annoyed. I don't understand why this information is coming out. Well, actually, I do know why it's coming out, but I'm confused how we've allowed this situation to get to this point again. That would be a more accurate piece of analysis. This article here says Ten Hag has raised the issue of having the right body language when setbacks happen in games, and is increasingly frustrated that his message isn't getting through to particular members of his squad. I agree, the shoulders drop, the heads go down, the work rate stops when there is a setback for these Manchester United players. We kind of know this, but the manager has now put himself in a very interesting position when you read this segment, when you read this tweet, because you think, well, why are you continuing to play those individuals? Bruno and Rashford are two of the biggest culprits of this, but yet you keep picking them. So you've actually just made the situation for yourself worse. But the article also goes on to talk about the fact that sources close to Ten Hag have said that he doesn't feel he can be harsh in his criticism of players as he'd like to be, because there are concerns about the mental fragility of the squad. Now, we've seen this before, and this is why, one, I think the writing's on the wall. If the results don't turn around quickly, this man is gone. How do I know this? Jose has said very similar things, weak mentality within the squad. Ollie's wasn't revealed until afterwards, but he spoke about how players today are too weak, and he felt he couldn't discipline them. The problem that I have with this notion from Ollie, Jose, and Eric Ten Hag is that there's great discipline at Liverpool. There's great discipline at Man City. There is an abundance at Newcastle, at Brighton. So this isn't about modern day players and younger people per se being weak. It's about Man United having created an environment where weakness thrives, where throwing managers under buses, player power, if you like, is so prevalent. That is the issue here. And for me, Ten Hag coming out and saying this publicly is an admission from him that he knows the writing is on the wall. And if he knows that writing is on the wall, and he is now starting to, whether it's individually, like he did with Sancho, or whether it's the collective, as we saw Jose do, as we saw LVG do, is he's starting to attack the players by saying, look, they're not listening to my instructions. If I try to criticize them harshly, they're too fragile to take it. Their body language changes and we lose anyway. I'm stuck between a rock and a hard place. Now, this may be true. What the manager's saying may be absolutely right. The environment at Manchester United that is been created by our owners and board just doesn't allow a manager to yield his power as strongly and as regularly as he would like. I'm not saying Ten Hag is wrong in that opinion because previous managers have said it. But the admission that another leaked piece of information, this time defending the manager, tells you he's losing that dressing room. Now, this is where my confusion and pain comes in. This tells you that if results don't turn around in the next 2, 3, 4, 5 games, it's likely he could be sacked. But all that does for me under this current ownership means that whoever comes in next is going to go through the same situation. When certain players start to be dropped, whether it's to improve the style of football. So let's take De Zerbi as an example. He comes in and goes, right, that 5, 6, 7 players have got to go if you want my style of football to become prevalent. Those players will throw their toys out their pram. Those players will throw that manager under the bus. Friends of theirs or players that get stick from the manager will drop their shoulders and not work as hard. And unless the ownership and the club fully back whoever the manager is, whether you like their style of football or not, we'll never get rid of this situation. So I'm disappointed to see this information get leaked. I'm disappointed to see the manager doing this to defend himself. I don't think you, again, need to air this dirty linen in public. But am I surprised? No. Where my confusion and frustration comes in is I don't know what the solution is. Well, I do. But it isn't one that's easily resolvable with our current situation. It's we need new owners. And rivals will say, this is nothing to do with the owners, Terry. This is the players. It's the manager. No, it's to do with the way they all behave in the environment created. Listen to what Sean Longstaff said last night after Newcastle's epic win over PSG. Everything changed when the new owners came in. A new mindset, a new work ethic, a new set of principles. I don't know what you've all done in your lives and what experiences you've had, but having been involved in sports teams at a very high level, competing for my country, worked with some of the biggest organizations in the world, I've seen what a change of leadership to a department or an overall business can do. A change of coaching, a change of ownership, a change of strategy. And I'm talking about a widespread change, not just one person coming in and continuing the same nonsense the previous idiots were doing. And that's why I feel so much pain in this. Ten Hag's right, the body language is poor. We know that these players have got a weak mentality. We've been saying it for a decade. But as soon as the managers come out and start talking about it publicly, that is when you know the writing's on the wall. And the biggest fear I have in this isn't, and I repeat, because I know some of the comments will say, Terry defending Ten Hag again. There's nothing about defending Ten Hag. Never has been. I'll say the same now as I said when we sacked Ollie, when we sacked Jose, when we sacked LVG. The videos are still out there. Go check them out. Go watch them. This action will not fix the club. De Zerbi can't fix us. Ancelotti can't fix us. Diego Simeone cannot fix us. There's no manager in the world that can fix Manchester United. No coach in the world that can fix the club. You can get rid of all the players right now that you dislike. Whatever side of that fence you sit on. You can bring new players in. If the rot remains, it catches. If you put healthy, fresh pieces of fruit into a fruit bowl with already rotten pieces, the new fresh fruit will rot quicker. It will be rotten within hours or days. It's contagious. There's a reason that every signing, either instantly or over time, regresses at Man United. Every academy player, no matter how well they start, will stumble and have problems and not progress. There's a reason that every manager has failed. The pattern is there to see. And to round this up, I'll say again, I'm very disappointed with Ten Hag airing dirty linen in public. And I'm being consistent because we saw Jose do this and it didn't work. I understand why he's doing it. He's defending himself, saying, I'm trying my best, but I'm now being undone by the same problems that ruined other managers. I want my reputation to be clean. But these selfish acts that managers do, players do, and ultimately the club ends up doing by sacking the manager and then pushing out the PR to make everybody think it will be okay now. These selfish acts do nothing to help Manchester United, and that is my cause here. I like Ten Hag. I really thought he was going to do a great job for us, and I believe he still can in the right environment. But I don't like what he's doing. There's some of these players I really enjoy watching. When the leaks start coming out, when their shoulders drop, when they're not fighting for this badge, I can't stand them. because the club matters more. And we all know my stance on our owners and the way we're run, the board that they have put together, who essentially have full control and power. Every signing, every failed manager is on them. There's no doubt about it. But Man United's situation is not going to get better. I hate saying that. I hate being pessimistic. I hate not having hope in my own football club. But the patterns are there. The leaks are happening. And as I say, I can't believe the manager has come out and done this. On one side of me, and maybe that is the emotional, romantic side that is desperate to win. But then there is the logical part of me that understands, that expected this. And the one final piece of the puzzle we haven't seen yet is the players moaning about coaching standards, whether they're too harsh, too easy, confusing, communication isn't good. That will be the next lot of leaks that come out the club. And it will all end in the same way. The manager being sacked, players getting clean slates, and a rinse and repeat process of everything we've experienced for the last 10 years. The one consistent in this is the people that are running the club and making the decisions. And yes, Woodward has gone and Arnold has come in, but they're cut from the same cloth. They're cut from the same cloth. It isn't new leadership at the top where it's needed. And I'm disappointed today. I'm sad today because I want to see my club turn this around. I want to be so wrong about this. It's unbelievable. I want to be cooked. I want to be mudded. People, you thought, Terry, that you couldn't turn it around. You thought the manager was done. Yeah, I do. Because I've seen this movie before. You know, if you put a film on, do you know how many times I've watched Rocky IV? And there's this almost childlike part of my brain that hopes that Apollo Creed doesn't die every time I watch it. Every time I watch it, I hope he doesn't die. He does. He dies in every time I put Rocky IV on, Apollo Creed dies. It's exactly the same when it comes to Man United. Rinse and repeat. It's the same movie on replay. Groundhog Day. We can take it out on the manager. We can slag him off. We can take it out on Rashford. We can take it out on Sancho. We can take it out on whomever we want. None of it fixes the club. Not medium to long term. It's sad. I'm not going to stop pushing the message. I'm never going to become too tired to not push that message because that is what people want. But it's another sad day for Man United. See you later, people. Bye-bye.